Barnaby and his friends were so happy and thankful. They didn't just get a nut, they welcomed Squeaky. They moved over, making a space for him to sit with them. Squeaky snuggled in, sharing their warmth and listening to their stories. Squeaky felt warm all over, not just from sitting close, but because his heart was full of goodness and friendship. In a lush forest, as the leaves turned fiery red, bright orange, and golden yellow, lived a little squirrel named Squeaky. Squeaky was very good at finding nuts. He was always the first to find the best nuts, and he collected as many as he possibly could. He gathered them all up and brought them back to his cozy nest inside an old tree. Squeaky kept all his nuts safe inside his cozy tree nest. Oh, he had so many nuts, much more than he needed. But Squeaky loved every single one of them. He didn't want to share, not at all. One day, a little rabbit named Barnaby peeped into his nest hole. Barnaby looked hungry. He softly asked Squeaky for just one nut. But Squeaky quickly hugged his pile of nuts and shook his head. Barnaby looked sad and hopped away. It wasn't just Barnaby. Oh no! Food wasn't as easy to find for everyone in the forest. One by one, Squeaky's friends would come. A little sparrow would land nearby, chirping a hopeful tune, needing just a few seeds. A tiny hedgehog, even a young deer might pause near his tree, wondering if there was anything to spare. But Squeaky, he always found a reason. Not today, he might think. He just didn't share with anyone. Squeaky had so many nuts, more than anyone else in the forest. But every afternoon, sitting alone in his cozy nest, piled high with nuts, he felt something was missing. Through the hole in his tree, he could see his friends playing together, laughing, sharing little snacks they found. Squeaky watched them with a long look. He looked at his big pile of nuts again and sighed softly. Days passed, and the air grew colder. Winter was coming soon. The wind blew stronger, and the air felt crisp and chilly. Squeaky knew he was safe and warm inside his nest with all his many nuts, but he still felt a coldness deep inside his heart. He saw his friends outside, huddling together, sharing warmth, even though they didn't have many nuts left. One very cold afternoon, Squeaky peeked out. He saw something that made him stop chewing his nut. He saw his friends sharing the last little bits of food they had, and more importantly, they were sharing warmth and smiles. They were laughing and talking, their faces bright and happy. They looked so cozy and warm together. After thinking and watching, he looked at his huge pile of nuts for the last time. Then, with his careful little paws, he reached for one nut. Oh no! He chose the biggest, one of the very best nuts from his collection. Feeling a little shy but very, very determined, he took a deep breath. And then he stepped out of his cozy nest, out into the cool air, and started walking towards his friends. Barnaby and his friends were so happy and thankful. They didn't just get a nut, they welcomed Squeaky. They moved over, making a space for him to sit with them. Squeaky snuggled in, sharing their warmth and listening to their stories. Squeaky felt warm all over, not just from sitting close, but because his heart was full of goodness and friendship. From that day on, Squeaky the little squirrel was never stingy again with his precious nuts. He still loved collecting, but now he loved sharing. True happiness isn't found in keeping things to yourself, but in giving to others. The greatest treasure wasn't the size of the pile in his nest, safe and sound, but the joy and warmth of friendship he felt when he shared. As the saying goes, sharing makes our hearts grow bigger and the world feel warmer.